We are back. Hello, everybody. It's Mivy, and this is another Saturday live stream. I'm thinking to switch from Twitch, that rhymed, from Twitch to YouTube because I will be honest, I do not like Twitch. Maybe I'm just a YouTube girly. Maybe I just think it's easier, but I don't know. You guys are much more lively on here, and I do have fun with all of you guys in general, but I'm very excited to see where this goes. So, hello, hello, hello. Today we will be mixing a song that I have produced in this week, and we are going to be chatting, we're going to be coding, and doing all fun things. So, I hope you guys are well. I hope your weekend has been going pretty well so far, and yeah, it's been a pretty busy week, but I think it's been a very nice week as well. I've been doing this so far. I've been setting up a lot of other things, which, let me be honest with you. But other than that, I'm just so excited to see where everything goes so far. I have my can of sparkling water. It's empty, so, I already drank it, but I might just pretend to drink it because, let me be honest, it's just fun. Tastes like nothing because I'm not drinking it. I should make this a running gag. I'm very curious if I should make this a running gag. I don't know. I think that would be so much fun. We're just going to chat for the next 5 minutes before we get everything settled. We're going to start with some coding. It's been very fun. However, with my coding, here's the issue. So the week before this, I was out and about. I told you guys about this. I won't say what or when, but it was a very important week for me, so I could not be here physically. And so I take a bunch of coding courses and other online courses where you have those streaks. And the issue with this is that they are not sympathetic to live events like this. And so it basically erased my whole streak on me. I've been coding since the near end of last year, and it erased all of that. 200 days of me coding, 200 days of work and trial and error, learning Python and JavaScript, all gone because I missed 2 days. Brilliant, we gotta get our act together. What is this? What is this? This is insane. I don't know. But I really thought, why don't I just document my process of coding and getting everything together? Because I've seen some of my favorite content creators, they do the New York Times crossword. I'm a bit geeky like that. I love the crossword. I can't figure it out to save my life, okay? I need a lot of help. I see some people open up with reading a news article. I told you guys I'm pretty geeky. So I thought, why don't I open up with me coding? Because I thought that would be so much fun and I could honestly use all the help. Because what is this? Just sometimes Python does not make much sense. Okay, like if you try to write instructions part by part by part down to the very last detail, there comes a point where it just can't make sense. And the nonsensical one becomes a person who needs too much information. Well, in this case, it's not a person, it's a computer. It's insane. So I don't know why we're letting them run the world, but I'm not going to get into the details of that. I'm going to get into the details of classes and the lists and the loops because why not? Because we got better things to do. So without further ado, let me show you guys what that is all about. All right. So once again, my streak is back at 0. Guys, chat, I'm cooked. I am so cooked. This is no fair. I agree. This really is not fair because just does that to somebody who's hard working. Oh, thank you, Coffee Cake. You're so sweet. Mwah. Anyways, we gotta work with this. Whatever. Alright, so for the messages that are not already blocked and have no attachments, what does the program print? Okay, so if it's blocked, then it prints already blocked, but it's not blocked. And there are no attachments, so that says okay. So I think that would just have to say no attachments. Checking it, no attachments. That would have to be that, right? Yes! Okay, so apparently that's right. Let's go, everybody, let's go. Or when. Oh boy. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, this one. What's wrong with the program? If a message has no attachments, it should skip checking the attachments and continue with the next message in the log. Okay. So, if it has no attachments, you go okay. But it still goes to checking the attachments. So, why don't we just. It still checks the attachments. It's crazy. Wait, what? What? What did I miss? Okay, once it finds a message with no attachments, it doesn't check any more messages. Oh, because there's a break. Duh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, this is why I need the chat to help me out. Because look at me. Look at me. I'm pathetic with my 0 score. Fix the program. If a message has no attachments, it skips checking its message. Okay, so no attachments. You go, okay. And then you have to continue on. You don't break. Because then, there we go. You see? Good job, everybody. Doodle. Ding. Okay. And don't give me an ad. Don't give me an ad. Thank goodness. Usually this thing likes to give me an ad. But we're okay. And that's the best part. So, we gotta quit this. Alright, let's get on with the most exciting part. Music production. Who needs Brilliant to constantly be harking on me when I have you guys to hark on my music production mistakes? Well, I've been very excited about this one. And I will be talking about why in particular I got out of it and why in particular I'm making this. I've always just had this vision, but I'll bring the short of it to you. I have visions in my head for things I want to do, but I honestly have to work through things that relate to getting through fear. It's like a thing that happens if you've been made fun of a good part of your life. Sometimes you get hyper vigilant if people are constantly analyzing you. But truth is, if you always live like that, then, well, is that a life? Clearly not. So, all right, let me just show you guys what I did so far. I think you might like it. You might like it. Or I hope you guys can hear it. Okay, so I thought you guys could hear that. That's crazy. See, look at me. I'm just going ahead and being an old fart with the way that I am going about this. And technology, that's crazy. Low-key crazy. Let's see if this works. Okay, well, that's not working. Great. That's wonderful. The joys of OBS. Alas. Yeah, this is just being weird. I'm sorry, guys. It's like the weird things that happen with OBS, and I always think that I'm great at it. Alas, that is really not the case. I just don't. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let me see. What if We're gonna have to figure this out. But in the meantime, why don't I just go ahead and tell you about some of the things that I'm doing with this? Basically, for the past few days, I've been very, I'm someone who's like very into video games, and so I look past all the things that I do with my comics and how I like emotional works, and I realized, well, why don't I just put that into my work? That would be smart. And so here we are, and hopefully this should now work for you guys. Well, it works for you guys, but not the screen capture. That's wonderful. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's just hope this part works. There we go. Thank goodness. If it sounds like other shit, that's sorry, that's it's not muddy anymore. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Okay, thank God. I'm changing your color. So yeah, very glitch core in a sense. I wouldn't say glitch core. I just don't know how to describe it. Glitch house? Whatever you call it. Glitch no? Glitch speed house? Yeah, this is honestly super duper exciting to try out. I've mixed a lot of speed house, so to do my own version is so much fun, and I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm super duper excited. It's just, Yeah, it's just so much fun. So now that we are getting that out of the way, we're gonna actually have to mix this. Now, I could have worded that much better. I don't know why I did mix. I don't know. I'm like going on with my syllables, or what do you call them? I need to talk to my English teacher. Anyways, so where do we start with mixing? In my opinion, one of the most important things that somebody can do when they're mixing a song is volume. Because if everything is clashing at once, then I'm not going to say that word. There are probably children here. But yes, we get the whole point. So we're going to start with that. However, I do want to layer the bass line because it's been how do I say? I wouldn't say a lot overlapped, but it's kind of getting covered up by all of the high pitched synths and my vocals. So, oh, there we go. So we're going to clone that. And this was made by my uncle. Shout out to my Uncle Remy. I taught him how to do sound design, and he is one of I honestly look up to him. He's a very important person in my life. So let's make this a bass line. I low-key want to do that. Do you want to transpose this down? I'll transpose that part down, but then I'll keep this part sane. And I'll do this and E. Let's link this part to the filter. I hope that OBS is displaying. It's not displaying this. Alas, this is not displaying this. Oh well. Basically, I'm just doing sound design right about now. I should probably make sure that my other parts can capture this. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So I am currently on Vital, and I am in the process of making a bass line. We're starting out with this part, but before we do that, I want to also make sure that everything is similar to the first bass line, because if you do not have similar sounds, what I mean by similar sounds, it shouldn't be the same, but if it's not the same type, everything's gonna get mumbled up. It's like if you're having two people speak differently, they have different tones of voices, but you're making them speak 1 second slower than the other person. It's gonna sound like hot garbage. So it doesn't have to be the same, but it should be almost exact. In reality, if I am layering, I tend to duplicate the OG and then twist it around, because then that saves a lot more time on guesswork. I like that. I really like that. This is amazing, you guys. You'll see me do this and that all the time. So yeah, we have that part for a bass. Do I want to expand in it more? You can relatively hear it. I think that should be okay. I don't like maximalizing. Mix. I don't like going too big because then I can't focus. So we'll keep this as is. Now that all of our sounds are relatively layered, I will add in some impacts and then we can get to leveling. Impacts. I like to use, where are my favorite impacts? Let me know what else I can add to this. I am so curious what you guys have to say. Rim shots, toms. That's a snare. I don't want to use that one. Let me actually use a ride. I love using these guys. What happens if I pitch this down? Oh, that's so cool. That kind of feels like a softer crash. all of you are gonna go into the timeout. Down here. Bye-bye. Think about what you've done. Your punishment is because you existed. I am a horrible mom. I'm being horrible to all of my tracks. Now, which one of these impacts make the bigger impact? Not that one. Is it glitching out? Please don't glitch out. Oh, do not crash on me. Do not crash on me. We're going to say a prayer to the tech gods. Dear tech gods, make it work. Please work. Work. Please, 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 please. Please work. If I take this and then I reverse it, then I have a good sweep. Now, how much do I want to do for impacts? I don't want to do too much. One more. One more. Are we thinking one more? I think one more would be a great one. Let's do this. Not you. What if I take this and I stretch it out? Then I reverse it, kind of lower the volume, because I know it will be a bit too much. Okay, that's great. This should be good as is. Now we are also going to put these on the correct tracks because they are so loud. I swear, I used to have such a hard time mixing and producing before because I hated the sound of these impacts. They're so loud for what? You really have to make sure you level these early on, otherwise you will be crying trying to produce the whole time, and nobody wants to cry when they're producing. Well, if you do, then maybe you should consider seeing a therapist. And I say that very nicely. I say this very nicely and politely, because music production should be a joy. It shouldn't be a drain. I'm going to label these real quick so I don't lose my mind. How's everybody doing here? I swear to God, I always say, oh my God, I'm just going to be so lazy and not label anything. And then comes mixing time and then I cry. Don't be like me. Label everything early on, please and thank you. What is this one? An impact? A crash? I think it's a crash. It's a ride. No, it's a ride. Whatever you call it. Then this one is an impact. Then you have a crash. And then I'll just say you have another crash because it makes everything simple. And yeah, so we did that. Now the best part of mixing comes. You are going to level everything. Most of these things honestly rely on automations. So we're going to have a great time today. Yeah, I love doing that with automations. You gotta love it. But we just got to make the most of it. So what is not on the same part here? Oh, I forgot to put that for the big drop. Right. So I think that the bass is relatively stable. So we could do that first. And then the sub bass. Well, the sub bass cannot overpower the normal bass, because if that happens and everything's muddy, and then people surprisingly notice the quality of things. Or they don't. It really depends. It really just depends, because before that, I used to think that people would not notice. When I didn't care, people would notice, and when I do care, people don't. It's a very funny contradiction. So let me just see how I can do this. If I put everything down like this, and then I go in and try to automate, I will know what's already automated, and I'm not making much sense, but you get the whole gist. So that should work. Down, down, everybody get down. There's a fire. There's no actual fire. I'm just being silly or whatever. I can leave the impacts as is. They usually end up like that just fine. So that should be good. And yeah, oh my goodness, I am just realizing you guys once again are seeing a frozen screen. That's beautiful. All right, there we go. All right. It should be the bass line that and the kicks that come first. The drums should come first because they're the heavy hitting parts. And so what I do is I will go like this. Up, down, then we slowly. That's good. Perfect. And then we can get the bass line. And it goes boom. Here's good. Here should be a good part. Then we get the sub bass. I'm surprised, even when we level it up, like, it's not too bad. That should be a good part. I mean, what's sub in sub bass if it's not below anything? It's my biggest pet peeve. Right. And then what's next? I think we should get the rest of the drums. Most of these aren't on hi-hats. On hi-hats. That sounds so weird to say. Alright, so then we go to the second drop. And we can do this one. Then we can go to where the claps are. I can clip just a little bit because otherwise it sounds weird. Now we can go to the snares. Tell me how your weekend's been while I'm going at this. I'm very curious to know. While we're at the snares, just tell me how your weekend has been. We have 1, 2, 3, so we go. There we go, there's one. There we go. I'm very excited for that. This is so cool. And then I'm noticing that train and crying are not leveled. If you're wondering what these are audio atmospheric sounds. I know most people think of atmospheres as pads and drones, but if you have sounds from nature or the real world, it elevates. I'm telling you, it elevates so much. So one of my favorite things to do is what's one of my favorite things to do? My brain is going blank. Okay, so one of my favorite things to do is I will open up my voice memos on like my phone or something, and I will record when I'm out and about, and I think, oh, this would be great in a song. So in this instance, I recorded something when I was on the train in my city, and then I also recorded the sound of me crying. I will not get into the details of that, but don't worry, I'm A-okay right now. So yeah. Train and crying. Should I put them back to their normal sound? Oh, that's kind of big. Maybe let me just like half it. That makes it easier for me to work with. And yeah, because I can't work with a sound that's too big. Let me work with the biggest one. That would be train. So There you go. And then crying. I don't want people to hear the details of my mental breakdown. So I think this should be great. What else is missing? Synth is not automated. We can go ahead and level synth. I honestly think this is a good place to stop. Because then when we add all our effects like compression and EQ, then it's gonna... What's the word in English? I'm an English speaker and I don't know the word in English. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. You gotta get it to get it. I don't know how to explain this to you guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, we get the whole point. I'll figure it out, okay? I'll figure it out. That crash came in at the perfect time, I swear to God. Okay, and then that other one would be melody. Actually, I want to do melody last because it's going to take away the show. I can automate this part. I don't like this part. So what I will do is I will go here and here. Then I will go like this. Then we go down here. Oh, perfect. I really like the little bars that FL Studio gives you, if you can see, with automation. That makes it 10 times easier, honestly. It really does. Chords should be okay. I think that's good for chords. What else are we missing? Okay, so we got synth, we got chords. The phaser, that's for the vocals. The vocals I made sure to do early on. You really want the vocals to stand out in the song, but I've had to work well with making sure they don't sit on top of my song because that has been my issue for the past few. But thankfully, all is sorted out. Chorus, I don't think I need to automate. I'm gonna still leave it in there just in case if I feel like I need to. Insert 10. What's an insert 10? Oh, it's the vocals. Is it? Yeah, it's the vocals. I don't know what's up with that. Valhalla Supermassive, that's also for vocals. What's insert 20? Oh, that's the harmony. So I could say, no, harmony is this one. Then it might just be vocals again. I don't know why that's there. This is why you guys gotta stay organized. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like me. You gotta go to school so you don't end up like these losers. I just called myself a failure. Oh, it's okay. So we have that sorted out. And honestly, it makes much the difference. No, wait, there's one thing we forgot. I'm abusing my mic. It's the melody, the most important thing. I forget that. Damn it. I just did that in front of the kids. Honey, I shrunk the kids. And melody is over here, so we're going to do what we do again. we leave it right here because then all the effects will probably make it louder. And then when we master, that's what I was trying to say beforehand. There we go. It all comes back to me now. Oh well. Also, another thing. I normally don't recommend this when it comes to vocals, but I did it for this instance. When you're doing vocals, most of the time, you never, ever, 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 ever want to try to layer the same vocals for the lead by copying and pasting it, because what happens is that usually things sound very phasey, things start sounding very weird and crunchy and grainy, and it leaves a bad texture in your mouth, as well as mainly your ears, because obviously it's sound. But in this instance, that's exactly what I was going for. Chaos, my favorite thing in the world. So I copy and pasted these vocals. They're pretty much the same thing, except some of them are louder than others or pitched up a little bit. And then it's the same thing, except it sounds softer, but it's really not. And then these get automated and yeah, you're good to go. So we're good to go on that part. Now, the other part of mixing is what most people think. It's putting effects, it's putting things together, it's analyzing all of the details. Sorry, I nearly hallucinated something for a second. It's just my mask. I will literally see things sometimes with my mask on. It's kind of funny. Maybe it's not. Maybe I should get used to it. I don't know. But case in point, what's the case in point? I gotta stop doing this. This is hilarious. I keep accidentally clicking on my samples. This is hilarious. The best plugin you want to start with, since I already mixed my vocals, is compressor. I will actually walk you through my vocal chain. So yeah, first you start off with pitch correction. Now most people think auto-tune is for people who can't sing, and sometimes it can be for people who can't sing, but in general, nobody is a perfect singer, even the most perfect of people, and you will need to correct little shakes in your voice. That's kind of why studio version sounds different than live version, because live version is not too perfect, and we kind of want to make those artistic decisions to keep everything all right. So I added a little bit of that, but not just for the pitch correction, also for the effects it makes. It's so cool to see. Then I added some compression. I really try to make sure I keep it. I don't like when compression gets very loud, but I do not want to do the compression where you do it too soft, because the latter was my issue for a long time. I EQ'd everything out. I noticed that when I cut out my lows too much, things sound empty. So I cut my lows in and eliminated some of the weird harshness in the mids. Then I added a bit of OTT, and not too much if you can check with depth, but it's still significant. I added a de-esser. So if you ever notice, if you ever make those kinds of sounds, yeah, what does it sound like? It sounds very harsh. A de-esser is great for that. Am I explaining things and you guys can't see it? This is my issue. Oh well. It's okay. And let me just do that. There we go. Slide. This is just some of the saddest things I've ever had to go through. Is just this and that. Oh well. Okay, so you have the de-esser over here. This is great for the harshness on the syllables. You have a phaser. Where's my phaser? My phaser is over here. I really like making sure that I can add some fun, bright stuff to my vocals, and phasers are really cool for that. My vocals in general, I'd say, are fine, but it helps me get used to my voice. Same with the chorus. Chorus is really nice. I automated that. A tad bit of delay. I think the delay on its own is fine, but I hate putting too much delay on my things. Now, I do have Valhalla Supermassive on it, but again, I automate it for effects and then more auto pitch because it's so much fun. Yeah, I max out my vocal chain, as you can see. My other chains, not so much. It's kind of funny to see how that happens. Well, yeah. How is everybody doing in the chat? Let me know. Let me know if you have any requests. And I might take a mask break. I probably won't though because I've been getting used to it. I added a lot of pad foaming on my mask. But yeah, even then, sometimes it can still hurt. Like, ouch. Maybe I want to adjust it a little bit. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so let's just get back to mixing as a whole. Ow. Ow. Right. So now that we have that going, we should... I gotta stop doing this. What is my problem, you guys? Right. I'm gonna leave a filter there, but then start with compressing. I usually do vice versa, but in this instance, what I don't want to happen is have the sound be leveled and then I just filter it out. That's not what I want to happen. I want to filter out what I don't want and to you guys to hear, and I will have you guys just where was I going with this? I don't want you guys to not I want to what do I want to say? I want to say that what I don't want to happen is that I make everything leveled and then I just cut out my work. What I want to happen is I cut out what you guys don't want to hear and then I raise up the parts you want to, which is what I'm doing here. So if I can just put this on pattern. If I could put it on pattern and then simultaneously listen in to the chords, that would be great. Let me just see. I like doing the custom shapes because then I can do what I did with the faders. I will go to the extreme, I go to the minimal, then I raise up to what feels right. Okay, so before, after. That's so nice. That is low-key so nice. I like that. I like that. It's just the power of good compression. I struggle with the way that a lot of people explain music production terms and the way that they process things. So what's really helped me to get to know these functions is just by going to the extremes and then seeing what happens when I do. Now, another thing that I want to take care of is, do I put OTT on this synth? I'm very curious because, okay, if I put too much OTT, then it's gonna sound, no! I don't know how to explain that, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna sound too in your face. But I don't know, if I feel like it's lacking something. So if I mask up and we walk through this together, then oh yeah, we're totally doing OTT. See, what am I out here being afraid for? Sigh. Alright, so we're doing lots of OTT. And then I think we should also go back to doing more compression because do we do more compression? Yeah, we should do some more compression. Compression on compression, I usually don't recommend, but compression is my friend and that is the end. I am a poet and I knew that because I used to write lots of poetry in school. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. I like using a custom one. surprisingly like that. I'm gonna go in and keep on at it. Let's do it with this synth. What happens when I do it with this one? No, not you. Okay, so I'm noticing when I hear this, just listen up to what you're hearing over here. Not that. It sounds like there's too many mids, and most people will recommend compression before EQ. Once again, we're gonna do the opposite because welcome to Miviland. We're gonna EQ before we compress because once again, there are things that you guys want to hear, and then there are things you guys do not want to hear. What you don't want to hear is all of these absolutely hard frequencies. Then they're suddenly going to get amplified. You're gonna hate that. Okay, but then if I do that, the sound sounds too thin. Okay, let me do the other technique when you're EQing. Let's figure out what we want to amplify. Then there's something else I want to amplify. Do I want to? Okay. Okay, we're gonna do that, then we're gonna cut things. This has been very helpful for me. No, high pass. What are we, tasteless? No, we're not tasteless. Exactly, we are not tasteless. So we're not gonna do a high pass for no reason. Low pass. Where's my words? I think that sounds alright. I think that sounds alright. Okay, I'm jiving with this. I'm really jiving with this. Okay, so now we compress that. Now we're going to EQ that. Now I'm going to unfreeze the screen. You guys, you probably noticed my screen, it keeps on freezing. And this has been happening on Twitch too. It's just the consequences of my actions. Here is the Wi-Fi signal. Now here is FL Studio. You're welcome. Hee hee. All right. So you have 1, you have 2, and now I'm going to show you guys the compressor. My favorite thing, my baby. All right, let's compress this. I like that a lot. All right. And then I just want to double check it works. No, it does not work. What's going on? Let me see. All right, and then if we listen back. No, it does still not work. Should we keep what we used to do? Go back to our old habits? Let's go back to our old habits. Ignore change, because who needs that? Who needs change? And then Do I want to compress the melody? I will actually move to everything besides that because the melody should be centered. It's going to be loved and cherished for the rest of its life. And oh shoot. No, we're not going to crash. Don't crash. You're not going to crash, okay? You're going to be staying right there all fine. I think. Okay, I'm going to have to probably stop here because this is not like it's being all weird, but I could probably let you guys in on some more reduction secrets. What is there really to know? I pretty much showed you most of it. Oh, did I really show you some of the presets I used for some of my sounds? Almost all of this is Vital. That's because I am a sucker for Vital. It's my baby. It's my baby boy. But yeah, I just really enjoy Vital. It's one of my favorite synths. It's free. It's versatile. You can use it pretty much anywhere. And the only ones that's not Vital are the 3 times oscillator, because let me show you what that looks like. The 3 times oscillator, quite simple, but it's also very good for, what's it good for? My brain is going pretty much blank, but it's good for making simple sounds or just trying to build up a world on top of something else without overpowering anything. If you really want to just get your creativity flowing, but you don't know what to do, just work with this one. It's a great starting point. There are 2 types of producers. One is organized with their sample packs. One is not. I am the latter. I am not. I get way too many sample packs for my good. I once had a producer friend of mine tell me that samples are like girlfriends. You switch through them all every few months. And I'm pretty sure his dating life is in shambles. No offense, Klozik, you're a great guy. But it's honestly, it works. So don't try that with your girlfriends, but try that with your sample packs. Shout out to that guy. He's honestly been so awesome and a really big mentor of mine. What else should you guys know? That's almost pretty much it for Awakening. Now, I will let you guys in on some of my other tracks. And we can actually go through some of the ones that I finished at this point. So let's do just that. And thank you guys so much for coming, by the way. You guys have been nothing but awesome for the past few days, and it's really a privilege to be able to, what's it a privilege to? If it's a privilege to just have this little teeny tiny community. You guys are the cutest. Really. How about I go through some of the masters? I always walk through my mixes. I always walk through my production, but I almost never walk through my masters. And that is very, very interesting that I choose not to. So why don't I just unveil this curtain of secrecy and just open up. Open up, honey. Okay, don't do that. I meant to do my video, but sure. Okay, there we go. This is my masters. I'm not going to tell you in particular what the song is, though you probably might be able to see it. Damn it. But I will walk you through my chain. I am very, very, very adamant that you go all out with the mix, but you gotta be very careful with the chain, with the master chain, because if you're working with an entire song with a lot of different complex, it's like you're plating food. You want to plate your food, but you don't want to just make an entire new dish, because at that point you're just cooking again. You're just cooking a pre-cooked meal. You're just working with the frozen packaged food, and nothing wrong with that. It's just I like to also work with lots of presets when I am mixing and mastering. This preset has helped me so much over the years. The mastering starter, the mixing starter. If you have a good mix, you really shouldn't do much for your masters, although the limiter is one that you really have to pay attention to. I do use the same method as I do with my faders. You go all the way up, then you cut, and then you go all the way up to the extreme, then you cut, and then you find where it meets the middle. Your ears can really hear it. It's good for training your ears. And that's just about it. Although now I am realizing that we did not do one thing. We did not sidechain the kick to the base. And I think if anyone's going to do anything with themselves and their life, then you have to sidekick your kick to your bases, because what are we doing with ourselves? So here's how you do it. On your bass lines, right? What you're going to do, you're going to get your favorite sidechain plugin. Me, that's the Flux Mini 2. I'm going to set it to one of these factory presets. I do not like the other presets because what happens, my sounds are very melodic and fast, and then they cut out everything and it's unbearable to listen to. So I like using the fake chain. And then you're going to find your kick, and then you're going to link them here, put them all the way down, and then you should be able to hear a difference. That is honestly a stark difference. Is there anything else I want to sidechain? Honestly, no. I want to keep this simple. I don't want to kick myself in the butt later on and just get myself all worked up for nothing. Although one of my favorite presets to use for kicks and in terms of compression is this. So I will love using that, and that should be relatively it for our music production live stream. I had so much fun with you guys. This was amazing. Now, we did not get to practice mi français. I am very bad at that. I've been learning, but I've been pretty bad at that. But it's been very fun, and I do not have something like that at the moment, but I will probably see if I can incorporate it into another live if you guys want. I know that yo hablo español más o menos. No, not más o menos. A veces YouTube, so maybe I could do something like that. It's been very fun to like just chat with whatever languages I've learned over the past few years. I mean, in doing all of this, I kind of realized that, hey, some of the stupid things that you learn in life do make a big difference if you think about it. Like whenever I would learn Arabic or have to go through learning very niche subjects in school or very niche experiences in life, I don't think those help me. And then later down the line, I run into an instance where I need to use it, and it surprisingly does not go to waste. So I really appreciate that about everything. It's a blessing to be able to have all of that, because you can do so much more when you don't have anyone holding you back. I really believe in that, and it's so much fun. So thank you all for coming here. I don't usually do long format lives on YouTube, but I might consider doing it more. I might consider, because I don't know, it's just so much fun doing this here. It's so much fun. Like, I talk freely. I just have a blast. I mean, there's so much more I can do when I have my computer at my disposal. Like, what? I don't know. Who knew? Access to great technology opens a window, opens doors, cuts down walls. The right ones, though. Just don't want to go around cutting anyone's... Is that a bulldozer? No, that's a vacuum. What am I doing here? I do not like the sound of the vacuum, to be honest. I will be honest. I do not like the sound of the vacuum. It's unnerving at times. Oh, I can't take it. But that's okay. That's really okay. If you were late, just let me know in the chat. And that should be it. So thank you so much for coming here, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, babe. Bye. I'm going to sit here and think about what I've done. I mean, you're not speaking English right. My shame. You're collecting. You've collected. Bye, everybody. See ya. Bye.